build it up any more than this. The final game of the regular season for the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference between two South teams. A playoff bye week on the line. Both teams are going to be the number 1 and number 2 seed. It's just a matter of which one gets the first round bye and which one has to face off against the Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors. It's the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. The Ezell-Harding Eagles and the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth in just a moment. And instead of just a moment, welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Spencer Thompson. Pleasure to have you with the final game of the regular season, and it's a beauty. These two teams have not faced off since 2010. 9 years ago, the record has stood at 1-1. 2009, 2010, the teams traded blows between that. A lot different story. 3 men dropped on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, still on a 50-by-100 field, and it's going to be fantastic to see the matchups. You've got Kadarius Price, Derek Griffin for the Ezell Eagles, and they've just been rolling. No losses in their first season in 8-man football in state, only losing to the defending national champions, the Evangel Christian School Lightning. Meanwhile, for Lancaster Christian Academy, they've still got their star quarterback at the freshman position in Deuce Bragg, and they've still got one of the best defensive players in the league, Lane Spurlock, a lot of great players to look forward to. The question is, not just for Lancaster, but for Ezell-Harding, how far can these teams go? We're about to find out in a potential preview of the 2019 MTAC Championship. Welcome in my broadcast partner, James Shannon. I don't think we've had as high stakes of a game since 2017 on our broadcast network, and it's a beauty to see. For the home team, the Lancaster Christian Academy Knights on senior night, fantastic game to look forward to. How do you assess Lancaster's team going into this game?
Well, they've got depth. They've got a lot of depth. You look at the way that they're set up, and outside the quarterback position, you have guys like T.J. Robbins, the Moore brothers, Devin Hargrove, and then if those guys get hurt, you look at the guys behind them, Jordan Horde, Arrington. Just there's guys behind them, so there's a lot of depth that they bring with them to this ball game, and that's going to be huge. That's something that not many teams can match, but Ezell can.
A lot of people look at that game that the Eagles had against the Evangel Christian School Lightning and think, they may not be the best team that we thought they are, but it's still a team that won 7 games and averaged about 40-plus points a game. What's the path to victory for them to get a bye week and essentially home field advantage through the championship?
Well, it's still a team that put up 50 points on
exactly.
Evangel. So, yeah, they lost. It was 82 points. I mean, they still put up 50. They've averaged 50 all year. So the key for them tonight is just a fast pace. They have to control the tempo. Lancaster's going to want to go fast pace. But at the same token, we saw what's worked so far. For Classical a couple weeks ago when they played Lancaster, they were able to put pressure on Deuce in the first half. That's what Ezell has to do. That Lancaster line is tough, though. That Ezell line's really good. So it's literally a battle in the trenches outside of everything else. Take the skill guys out, and I think the number one combat zone that's going to happen tonight is that line.
Trench warfare about to happen in Smyrna, and I believe we've got, since this game is starting at 7:30, a lot of scoring updates around the league thus far.
Some games have already started. Riverside is up on South Haven Christian 16-0. Christian Community is losing to Lighthouse 7-0. And Bowling Green leads the Freedom Cowboys 12-6. So a lot of big matchups, none of them with playoff implications, but it is rivalry week.
It's rivalry week in the final week of the regular season. We're at the final game to conclude MTAC's 2019 8-man varsity football season. Who gets the number 1 seed and who has to turn around to face Bowling Green? Knights, Eagles, next on 8-Man Extreme. Senior night for Lancaster Christian Academy, their final home game of the regular season. Postseason games, Lancaster is at least guaranteed one of those. And
it's a special night for Mr. TJ Robbins and Nolan Adams. Last time, or actually not the last time they'll ever play here, but this determines the level of the game that they'll play here.
And here come the Knights. Led by Noah Preston and, led by David Phillips and the rest of their Lancaster squad.
Ezell won the toss. They want the ball.
Instead of deferring the choice, the Eagles will have first possession, and we'll see that high-powered offensive combo between Garrett Griffin and Kadarius Price.
Keep you updated. Freedom Cowboys. Kenny has scored. Extra points good. They lead Bowling Green 14-12.
To all 23 of you already watching this broadcast,
shout out to everybody.
Started.
Whether you're from the Ezell side, the Lancaster side, or you just want to watch a good football game on a Friday night, welcome in.
Welcome to 8-Man Extreme.
Y'all are why we do this. Well, the players, but 23.
So again, Ezell won the toss, and they elected to receive for the first half. So Lancaster will receive it the second half of their senior night. We'll see if we can get a return from Ezell-Harding. Deep back to receive is Noah Preston.
And of course, the man, Ryan Arrington, the freshman, he's going to kick it away for Lancaster.
And all the high stakes, all going into tonight. And away we go in the game to determine the #1 seed in the South, and it's a muff return. Taking it back for the Eagles is Preston. Gets stopped at about the 29-yard line. And we'll see Derek Griffin come out, the senior quarterback, in his combination with junior Kadarius Price has been a key reason for why they only have a loss from an out-of-state team.
Well, and don't forget about Braxton Coleman, Jamari Lindell, Andrew Webster, Cam Hunt. The list goes on, and that's just their skill guys.
A lot of skill guys, but it takes more than just specific skill guys to be able to get to this point. First offensive play of the game. Handoff, it's to Price. Kadarius Price trying to weave through that Lancaster defense, a gain of 5. And just tears right through that defensive line to start off.
Well, good hard run there by Price. That line for Ezell-Harding, guys like Valbuena, Hyman, and Steinley. Those are going to be key points tonight. Good turnout for Lancaster. Ezell, good turnout for an away. I mean, it's a good turnout for an away game.
Especially since it's not as much of an away game.
It's really not that bad.
It's about 20, 30 minutes away from here as Griffin sneaks it up the middle for the first down.
Well, that's going to be the key for Lancaster. Griffin loves to run that option, and sometimes he'll keep it. Sometimes he'll go ahead and dump it off. If you're Lancaster, though, you got to cover both your bases. Make sure you just take care of it. Just let him, here we go. Let him dink and dunk. Don't let him gas you.
Now 1st and 10, Ezell just pushing through now on the 41-yard line. Griffin's got options and a motion. Griffin takes handoff, shovel pass over to Price. He's got open field. There is a flag in the backfield, but Price staying on his feet, trying to avoid the tackle, finally brought down by Lancaster's Elijah Moore, but we do have a flag, and we'll hear first from the referee for tonight's matchup, Ronnie Perkins. We'll hear from him in just a moment.
And that's what I'm saying on that option. They took care of Griffin because they ran that play first. That was their first thought. They did not account for Price taking the pitch. You've got to do both.
It looks like he must have turned his mic off. Yep, back on there. Get that settled in just a moment, but Just a chop block called and moving it back for Ezell. Lucky break for the Lancaster defense.
How about this? Aiden Hooper to Jamari Teague. Touchdown pass. Lighthouse leads Christian Community 13-0. Lighthouse looking to pull the upset at home against CCS, who's heading into the playoffs.
So now 1st down and 25. Price again. Trying to get through the Knights and gets to about the 31-yard line, gain about 6 yards.
Lancaster's a very sure tackler. They're going to be all over the ball carrier. Hey, how about an 85-yard pass from Andrew Crawley to Drew Atkinson? Extra points no good, but at the end of the first, Riverside leads South Haven Christian 16-6.
Preview of the first-round playoff matchup for next week, except it'll be in Springfield. The Patriots hosting that playoff game. Good on them to lock the number 2 seed.
It'll actually be the first time they've hosted a playoff game since being in the TACS.
Here's a sneak by Griffin, quarterback keep. Going to the left, can't get stopped by the Lancaster defense. Avoid another player. How about some more speed? And Derek Griffin there is a flag, but there is a touchdown right now.
It's going to be a flag for blocking the back.
There is a flag there. Likely they'll get it pulled back, but touchdown at the moment.
Where's the flag? There? Yeah. Okay, we're still going to be 2nd down when we finish. Yeah. So you're going to go 10.
So you hear that from Ronnie at the moment. So blocking the back called on Ezell. And again, so just turned his mic back on. So 9:27, and they bring it back to about the 36-yard line. So 2nd and 15.
Those are 2 very costly. You see just how potent this Ezell offense is, but at the same time, 2 very costly mistakes have taken 6 points off the board for them.
Penalties.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. His mic's off. Already checked it. So now 2nd and 15. Shovel pass again to, there is a flag on the sideline. But Kadarius Price on the right, staying on his feet and getting down to about the 32-yard line. There is a flag in the backfield. We might get, on the sideline. Likely we'll get a false start here. And again, our official Ronnie Perkins. Also the coordinator for the officials, primarily for MTAC, but does some officiating assignments around Tennessee and such. Got to witness a really great officiating game last night in the Battle of Franklin, and like you're going to see the same case here. And we'll get the call from Perkins. Probably just some mic issues going on there. We'll make sure to get that addressed going forward. A lot of distance from the press box here to the field than it is in the past, but we'll make sure to get that handle going forward. But clock running down, about 9 minutes left to go in the first.
Mr. Kinney has thrown another touchdown pass. Extra point is good.
So 2nd and 20. About 8.5. There's Griffin again. That defense can't get to him. Griffin going on the right side, finally brought down by Devon Hargrove. And
Devon Hargrove, all-star last year. And he didn't get a chance to play due to injury, but he earned the right to go to Dayton and be considered an all-star.
Now about 3rd down and 13, the Ezell defense has just been, the Ezell offense has gotten some good plays in there, but penalties bringing it back and negating the touchdown. Third down. James mentioned pregame, the tempo is a big factor here. Griffin looking for the option. Toss across the middle. It's caught by Price. Can't be brought down by the defense. That's Price going to the outside. Are they going to stop him? Block there, and Price to the end zone. Touchdown for Ezell.
Well, good job for the Eagles, staying clean on the play. Finally able to punch it in. That's what they need to do, obviously, because it's a football game. You got to score. And a great throw from Griffin right over the middle, just a drag route. Breaks the tackle. Bam, gone.
Looks like Anderson was the receiver trying to stop as well there.
Now the question is, do they go 2-point or extra point here? They were kicking extra points pregame. They're going 2.
2-point conversion attempt for the Eagles. Saw in their pregame warm-ups they did have attempts at PAT, but Price going up the middle, trying to put the trust in
I don't
their
think he got
offense.
it.
It's good.
Oh, they're going to say he did.
2-point conversion is good with about 7:20 left to go in the first. The Eagles strike first blood. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. By Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit ihatebuyinginsurance.com. (8-0) already. The Eagles not messing around, even with their offense getting 3 penalties. And a kickoff here. For Ezell-Harding, looks like 55 kicking off and catch at about the 38-yard line. They roll the clock, and Lancaster, how about turning on the Jets and staying on his feet? Devin Hargrove with the return and gets the Lancaster Knights down to about the 28-yard line in Eagles territory, and that's exactly what the Knights needed to start their first offensive drive of the game.
Young man can make moves. He can make plays. That's what Lancaster's going to need tonight. Not just from him, but from everyone, but he is a big key.
And another big key to that Lancaster offense is Deuce Bragg, the freshman quarterback, in the top rankings for the USFA, top rankings for, he's got several Extreme Player of the Weeks voting.
Nominations.
Got nominations and got a 1 week, I believe, back in week 9 after his game against Riverside. But he's been able to put up unbelievable stats from last year as an 8th grader and as a freshman. And Bragg, quick toss, incomplete. Just out of the first arm of Hargrove.
That Ezell line is going to get to him quick. He's going to have to get rid of that football. Lancaster's line of Nolan Adams and Lane Spurlock. Looks like maybe Brett Margima is also on the line. They're going to have their hands full. Might be Hamari as well.
2nd and 10. Bragg with motion.
That's more.
Bragg, quick toss, catch is made. Great movement last second to move more in. Gain of about 6 yards on the play for 3rd down.
That line is shooting in there. Deuce is going to have to adjust to that. I keep mentioning it, but it's very important. Look here on the side. You're going to have number 11. Is that number 11? We'll have to get that number, but Derek Griffin is a corner lined up right there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Be interested to see how he does tonight as a DB.
Bragg in the shotgun. And a man to his left, looking for the pass. Deep toss left side, incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Hargrove.
Good coverage there for Ezell on the far side. Let's see who that was. Looks like number 8. That's going to be Jamari Lindell. That line, that's 55, 45, and 20. No, 55, 15, and 20 for Lancaster on the line.
So that's a timeout.
It's going to be Marjama, Adams, and Spurlock.
Timeout called, and head to the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. I want to remind you that it is sponsored by the Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Minor Homes. Visit chuckminorhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. So about a 30-second timeout. I believe that call by Ezell. 4th down and 5. Bragg trying to convert, rushed by that Ezell defense. How about the big play from Andrew Webster, the senior? And that's a big momentum shifter for the Eagles.
Ezell's coming fast, they're coming hard, and they are just absolutely tearing into that backfield. Deuce has to be able to adjust even when his line can't handle. I mean, you see them. Let's get that replay.
You just saw it.
Well, let's watch it one more time. I mean, watch him just shoot in there. No holds barred, and they brought an extra linebacker too, and that's who got the sack. Bring an extra guy off the edge.
So turnover on downs forced by the Eagles, and we'll see if Griffin can get another score here.
Well, he's got weapons. He doesn't just have to do it himself.
Fake handoff. Griffin up the middle. He's got wide open space. Can he get past the corners?
But he might do it himself.
Cuts to the other side, being chased down by Hargrove, and Griffin is going to go all the way for a touchdown. You talk about mobile quarterbacks and the ability to just see the play and make something of nothing.
You literally just said, you got Derek Griffin. I said, well, he's got weapons. This time he just says, hey, I'm going to call my number. I'm going to pick my spot. And he does it. 65 yards to the house.
We knew it was going to be a shootout in this game. So likely we'll see Lancaster retaliate.
It's been a one-sided shootout so far.
But knowing how Lancaster has played throughout the season, we're definitely going to see them try to make
game's
a comeback.
not over by any stretch.
Right side, that's Jamari Liddell into the end zone, untouched. 16-0, the Eagles are not trying any extra points, not messing around. Up by 16 after about 6 minutes. Got an interesting scoring update for you after this kickoff. And just a little squib kick goes out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. So with that, the Knights have good field advantage for another offensive drive.
Hey, how about down in Fayetteville? It's David Black to Michael Black. 51 yards. Extra point is good. Riverside leads South Haven 24-6. 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
How does it feel for this to be the last week where you have to update more than 2 games on the high school football app?
I'll miss it, but I won't miss it.
It'd be easier for you if you weren't operating the camera and trying to
They're just
analyze
going to
game.
they're just going to take the ball here. They don't want the re-kick.
On the 50-yard line, the Knights to march down 50 yards. We'll see how they respond. There's a lob and a run for about 3-4 yards on the play. So
Lancaster, you got to settle down, start running the football. Just change it up a little bit. They went 3 straight pass plays this last drive. And Ezell was ears pinned back, going hard. You got to slow it down just a little bit.
Elijah Moore on the carry there, the sophomore. The Moore brother combination for Lancaster has been incredible to see throughout the season.
Listen, we need more of the brothers, and we're going to have to see if they can pay the price.
I know you're a father, but those kind of jokes, man. Sheesh. 2nd down and 8. An attempted rush up the middle and a big stop. Jordan Horde tried to go up and brought back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down.
Ezell has come into this game absolutely stoked. They have their mind set. Spencer, I will mention these white on whites are pretty sweet. Lancaster has a good set. Now I would like to see the
as
blue
long
on
as they
blue.
have the numbers traced out and readable. That's
I would rather see the blue on blue, but the blue on black for Lancaster is pretty sweet. But those whites are just they're next level.
3rd and 10.
They're going to creep that linebacker up a little bit and challenge the line and the running back there if he stays back for protection.
Bragg looking for his options. Quick toss that's caught by Hargrove. Hargrove can he be chased down by Price? Staying on his feet and brought down to about the 15-yard line. And a big move for the Lancaster offense.
A quick throw. Get the ball out. Let Hargrove run the post. You're going to see he adjusts. He sees the extra pressure coming. He knows that middle is wide open, and he just lets him go. He gets the jump on Price. Good pickup.
And you'll notice throughout the game, Price is probably going to have Hargrove's number all night long. 1st and 10 on the 15. Bragg looking again, scrambles. He's got an option on the left side, incomplete.
A little miscommunication, but a good job by Bragg to know when to step up in the pocket. Folks, I'm going to tell you something you did not expect to hear. Aiden Hooper, touchdown run, 17-yard touchdown run. Extra point is no good. Lighthouse leads Christian Community 19-8.
That's a shocker.
In the second quarter.
That's a shocker. 2nd and 10 in the red zone. Bragg airs it out right side to Hargrove. Almost picked off by Price and a flag thrown.
There was a little bit of hand play there on both sides. It'd be interesting to see who they call this on.
See if we can get the call from Perkins.
80. Expedition 1, 3rd down.
Did we get it on that one?
No, I don't think so. He was talking to McGee. I think they're talking about declining the penalty. Here we go. I think it's just the signal going down to the field is our issue on there. But
it's a little bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch.
So with about 3:37, they do move it back for 2nd down and not a quarter of the field. 2nd and 25. Bragg scrambles. He's got that defense pressuring him. Tosses the ball, does get it past the line of scrimmage.
They must have watched that classical game because they know what they need to do.
I've been getting to Bragg the entire time. Yeah, Sean Bell, the offensive coordinator for Lancaster, trying to get some schemes going when he's facing a 3rd down and long. Third and 25. Bragg again looking for his options. Airs it out on the right side. The catch is made. He beat his man. How about that catch for the Lancaster Knights, and a big reception by Aiden Hebden.
Well, right when they needed someone to step up. Right when they needed someone to step up, he did. Beautiful throw over the middle. And let's make sure, let's play one more time. Let's make sure that's who that was.
I believe that was, it looked like 11 or 10 on his roster.
Let's do it one more time. Looks like 11. No, that's 4.
Looked like it was 2 separate numbers. And 2-point conversion is no good, but the Knights, they managed to get a response there. And with 3:24 left to go in the first, the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business.
Yep.
Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, ministry technology provider. About 3:24 left to go in the first. Lancaster manages to strike back. They're down by 10.
We do want to correct it. That was Isaiah Moore with the touchdown catch. Good deep kick.
Deep one there, and return here for the Eagles. Anderson got the return and about to the 37-yard line.
Well, let's get you updated. Freedom Cowboys have scored again. They lead Bowling Green Christian 30-12.
First down for the Eagles.
Great answer by Lancaster, but let's see what Ezell's got up their sleeves.
On a 1st and 10. Griffin, shovel over. It's not to Price this time, and flag thrown. That's a pass over to Liddell.
And a very clear face mask there. They're going to get him for it.
We'll get the call from Perkins in just a moment. Very covered sky.
Yards to be tacked on to the end of the run. Ezell.
So we got the penalty call there. It's just the antennas are acting up with us just a little bit.
Spencer, that may be what we have to do with these antennas. Just aim them straight at the field.
First down for the Eagles.
Well, hopefully that works. 3:09 left to go, and a big big offensive break for the Eagles.
That's a lot of that's flip the field right there.
Motion, handoff. It's to Price. Almost brought down by the Lancaster defense on that first tackler, but
it looked like Moore was able to get in there.
Elijah Moore tried getting the tackle first.
Yeah.
Some help there. Number 55, Lane Spurlock, and Jonathan Amari in the middle. Brings the second down for the Eagles. Second and about 8.
So you look at the anticipation for this game and how much it got hyped up. It was interesting. It's just the way that it fell about on the schedule because
what wasn't planned. It just that's how it is.
Yep.
I'm sure a little bit of the two newest schools get in there and close out the season with a bang, but no one knew that it was going to have this level of impact on the season.
Here's second down and 8. Griffin trying to sneak through that Lancaster defense, finally wraps him up at a gain of about 2 yards on the play to the 35-yard line.
Well, Lancaster did what they needed to do right there. The DN was able to push Griffin back inside, and at that point there was a cluster. Griffin had to adjust, and that shut the whole play down. When Griffin's able to get outside and get that edge, that's when they're going to have success. How about Christian Community? Able to score. It's Jones to Stapleton. 2-point conversion is no good. It is good, rather. 2-point conversion is good. So it's 19. No, it's no good. They were already at 8. Okay, no good. 19-14.
About 60 seconds left here in the first. Third down and 7. Griffin sneaking up the middle. Again, stuffed at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe no gain on the play, and 4th down and 8.
Once again, push him to the inside, contain those edges. That's where your big guys are. That's where you'll be able to get the most tackles. If he can get outside, it's a foot race, and he's going to beat you every time in terms of making open field moves. But if you can push him back inside, he's not going to have as much impact.
On about 4th down, this will be likely the last play of the first quarter. Griffin is going to take it alone in the shotgun with receivers to the right and left. Final seconds as Griffin, deep toss on the right side intended for Price, incomplete. And turnover on downs. We'll have one more play in the first.
That's massive for Lancaster. You got a chance right here, climb back in this. I mean, they're still in the ball game, but you got a chance to take a shot right here. Or you just run a simple play and flip the field, go to the second quarter, still having the football. There's a lot of directions they can go right now with this.
So at least one last play for the first, and after about
this is where you hate a team not having a regular high school level kicker, because he could have tried. Well, even a high school level kicker might not have made that one. That'd have been about 50, but you can still punt. You can still do a little pooch punt and pin them deeper than the 35-yard line.
I think they were trying some long distance field goals in practice. It just wasn't quite getting it on target. Speaking of on target, there's a catch that is incomplete. Intended for Hargrove, just couldn't get the catch. And that's the end of the first quarter, 16-6. Lancaster on senior night down by 10. The Eagles defense showing up strong in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Start of the second quarter already for Lancaster and Ezell. About 30 minutes after kickoff. Nice timing. Spencer Thompson and James Shannon bringing you the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week from Smyrna Middle School as we get a penalty.
We're going to get a delay of game here, Spence.
Yep. We'll see if we got the mic situation figured out.
Yeah, Bob. Good substitution.
A little bit fuzzy, but
Still second down.
a little bit fuzzy, but they move back 5 yards for 2nd and 15.
They're going to get him for an illegal substitution. That's a big one. Offense has to substitute, give the defense a chance to substitute. You got to keep it in order. Offense, that way offense can't sneak an extra play on there before defense has a chance to adjust as well.
2nd down and 15. Deep toss right side by Bragg. Incomplete.
How about that throw, though? I mean, a 30-yard throw, 30-yard bomb, just a slight push off his back foot. Great job hauling it in.
So a 3rd down and 15. Lancaster has faced these situations before. Faced them throughout the season, but not in as dire of circumstances. Bragg, quick toss. That's the catch is made. And how about Jordan Horde turning on the Jets, and Jordan Horde gets past the defense. Lancaster Christian gets their 2nd touchdown of the game.
That is an answer. That is an emphatic answer. Again, Horde able to get that outside corner. He was, to quote a song, gone like a freight train. Gone like yesterday, gone like a soldier in the Civil War, bang, bang. He was gone. That wasn't a dad joke, and you're still shaking your head. I don't know what I got to do to win.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kidding. 2-point conversion attempt. And toss over. 2-point conversion is no good. 12-16 the score. Lancaster down by 4. Makes you wonder what would have happened if they had gotten those other 2-point conversions. But 11:41 left to go in the second. $11:41 left to go in the second as they get a little lob up there, and Lancaster gets the ball. Ball awareness is the big key factor there, and that's a huge momentum changer.
Wow. Lancaster got the football.
It doesn't matter.
Ezell thought at first that they might have scooped it, but great awareness from the Knights.
If it goes more than 10 yards, it's fair game.
It's live. He should have picked it up. He was waiting to see if it would go out of bounds. Lancaster wasn't going to let that happen. And they're all over the football.
You talk about big plays to shift the momentum of a game. That might be one of them.
Well, and this is the best starting field position that Lancaster's had all night. They can really take a shot here.
So on 1st and 10 now on about the 38-yard line, The offense for Lancaster gets back to work. How about a sling towards the end zone, incomplete. That was intended for Isaiah Moore.
Hey, Spencer, guess what? Jamari Teague, 18-yard touchdown run. Extra point is good. Lighthouse leads Christian Community 27-14.
27-14. You might be going 2-2 on your predictions this week.
Hey, Lighthouse is showing up.
They're showing
I
up.
would be very interested to see this Lighthouse team earlier in the season. Of course, only a 6-point loss to Bowling Green and a 6-point loss to the Heat.
Could have seen them in the playoffs. They had gotten that first victory against Bowling Green, but here's a muff. The snap, ball is loose. It's still loose, and Ezell gets it, heading back towards the end zone. How about Braxton Coleman going all the way? Just short, pulled down, touchdown.
No, he was short.
Just short with the flag.
They're going to call him at the 2.
And make that 8 seconds shaved off, but how
and
about
a flag down
that?
near the backside. It could be for a horse collar. Oh, you got to love the light pole in the way. Wonderful.
The question is,
he was short.
If he had not been pulled down by the horse collar, he would have gotten into the end zone.
Well, he was short. They're going to go half the distance, which really is not going to be that much, unless it was
Personal foul, illegal horse collar against Lancaster. To go first down, Ezell-Harding.
So just short, and one momentum shifter, another momentum shifter. This is certainly a shootout here in Smyrna. Got to cut his mic off.
There you go.
What a turn of events in the last 2 plays.
3 plays, really, counting the incomplete pass. Ezell could really do some damage right here, literally 6 inches from the goal line.
First and goal at the 1. Maybe the 1 inch. Price pushes through, trying to get past, and touchdown.
Well, Lancaster tried to get the fumble. First you had Deuce Bragg scrambling for it. Then you had Nolan Adams scrambling for it. Just could not haul it in. And a great scoop and almost score by Ezell. Spencer at the half. Riverside Christian leads South Haven 24-6.
And already 56 seconds taken off from the second quarter, and a 2-point conversion attempt here for the Eagles will make it a 12-point game. Griffin outside, in. 24-12. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. .04 left to go in the second, and attempted onside kick, just a dart immediately to Lancaster and picking it up at the 47-yard line.
I call that a layup kick. Just a little layup, just doop.
That shaves 3 seconds off of the game clock, and we'll see what Lancaster could do after that fumble taken back for a touchdown. It is a 2-possession game. Now 1st and 10, 47-yard line. Bragg looking at his options.
He loves those audibles. He loves to just change things up on the fly.
Deuce scrambles, brought down from the backside. And how about a big play from Reed Steinley, the sophomore?
Absolutely swallowed him up like he was a hobo and a ham sandwich. I mean, just took him to the ground.
That's a big move to lose 5 yards in there for 2nd and 15. And again, you mentioned it earlier, James, but it looks like Ezell did view that Franklin Classical film because they've been doing what Classical managed to do to hold them to 14-14 in the first half. As Bragg is alone in the shotgun. Looking for his options. Quick pass across the middle. The catch is made by Jordan Horde. Gain of about 3 yards.
Not quite back to the original line of scrimmage.
About 2nd down. What was a 2nd and 14 is gone to a 3rd down and 11.
Cowboys have scored.
Go ahead with your score.
Cowboys have scored again. They now lead Bowling Green 42-12. Bowling Green jumped out to a 12-6 lead. Since then, it's been 36 unanswered points for the Cowboys in Kentucky.
And with 9:56 left to go in the second, it's timeout called by Lancaster Christian. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Minor Homes. Visit Chuck Minor Homes for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. .956 left to go in the second. As Bragg is trying to get 11 yards here to continue the drive. Bragg, deep toss across the middle. The catch is almost made. A one-handed attempt by Isaiah Moore.
Boy, it was in his hand. And just too much sauce on it. Just a nip.
Now 4th down and 11 on about the 47-yard line. In a game like this, you're likely going to see Lancaster go for it.
Well, and Lancaster's trying to adjust. It's tough. I would almost say the DB got mossed. Let's see if he got mossed. Nope, he just reached up. Reached up and snagged it. Here they go. Quick set. No huddle.
We've seen that from Lancaster's offense throughout the season. Handoff up the middle. So over to Jordan Horde. And flag thrown all the way from the backfield by Perkins.
That's a hard run by Horde.
We'll get the call from Perkins in just a moment.
Give a shout out to all 40 of y'all watching the game. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Wow.
Unnecessary roughness called against the defense. That'll be automatic.
I think we might need to look into getting some stronger antennas on our receiver.
We'll figure something out. We need to talk to some more experienced people. Got a little more experience handling it.
We know some people.
Everybody knows people. All right, so let's run down it. Second quarter, Lighthouse leads Christian Community 27-14. Halftime, Riverside leads South Haven 24-6. Cowboys lead the Warriors 42-12 second quarter.
And 24-12 the score here. Ezell leading the Knights on senior night on the road. And
he almost got him.
Almost got in the neutral zone. Toss across the middle. Swatted at the last second. Griffin
what a play
with the
by
big
the quarterback.
play.
little quarterback on quarterback robbery, larceny, whatever you want to call it. Great job reaching out in front and putting the football on the ground. That was a sure touchdown. Absolutely robbed. They kind of go no huddle, but they have to get the call, look at the armband, get the play in.
2nd and 10 in the red zone. They've been here before, the 15-yard line. Been here before in this game already. Bragg, toss across the middle, tossed up, incomplete.
That was dangerous. That was a dangerous tip. They had if Ezell had a safety back there, that could have been an interception. That could have been very costly. Just in and out of the hands, these receivers. Pre-game meal must have included some Butterfinger pie because they have had a hard time holding onto the football so far. Bragg has been on the money with these throws. He's missed a few of them, but he is putting the ball in his receiver's hands. They have to help him out.
Hargrove, the intended receiver on that last one, and a 3rd down and 10. Bragg again just trying to get the defensive line to jump. Bragg, toss left side. He's just lobbing it up and out of bounds.
Hello, Mr. Post. Now we focus back.
So with that, it's 8:39 left to go in the second, and Lancaster trying to get another 6 on the board just to make it closer. Those 2-point conversions, all made by Ezell thus far, have really helped out.
It's a huge contribution to the game.
4th down and 10. They have to get to the 5 to extend the drive. Defensive penalty or a touchdown. Going to take a shot here for Hargrove. Is he going to get to it? Last second, big move by Kadarius Price, and Ezell takes over the ball.
That's a killer. That's a killer. You almost wish you'd taken tried the field goal, possibly picked up the 3 points on the play. That would have helped out.
Change of possession. Give the Eagles a 1st down. Right around the 14-yard line.
Well, can't say it enough, Spencer. Can't say it enough. Ezell has jumped out, and they have smacked Lancaster in the mouth. They have absolutely taken it to the Knights. Again, shout out all 40 people. It's awesome.
They've taken it to the Knights thus far, and with the first place on the line, it makes sense. Griffin with the quarterback keep. Gain of about 6 yards on the play. Actually make that 5 for 2nd and 5.
Spencer, how about a special shout out to Miss McGee watching the game at home. Mrs. McGee watching the game at home, cheering on her husband for sure.
Getting to see the game from afar. And so far her husband is doing very well.
It's working out. It's working out. It's going to be more of an IHOP breakfast instead of a Waffle House breakfast.
IHOP sounds good after the game. Shovel pass. Griffin going up the middle to the left side. Griffin with the pitch turned on the Jets for Price. Price, how about a little bit more? Trying to weave out the tackle. Finally brought down at about the 33-yard line. And a big gain for Kadarius Price.
He is a tough runner. And he's done what he had to do tonight to get these yards. He is absolutely dominated.
Just wove through that defense, made Lancaster. And Lancaster have to force him down before getting towards the end zone.
Well, if you're Ezell, you want to score here. Obviously, you want to score here, God, but you want to score here, and you really want to put a lot of extra pressure on Lancaster. The Knights do get the ball after halftime.
Griffin, quarterback keep again. Staying to avoid tackles. Griffin towards the outside, trying to stay up. Finally brought down inside the red zone, and another 1st down for Ezell.
Good hard running from the quarterback. He's contributing. Deuce Bragg hasn't been able to run as much in this first half, and it's something that Ezell knows. They knows that he's going to stay home and he's going to sling that football. And they are, like I said it earlier, they're pinning their ears back and they're going.
About 6.5 left to go in the second. Lancaster's defense trying to stand tall here. Last year it was a lot about that Lancaster defense, but this year it's a lot about the Lancaster offense. See if they follow just suit. And Price, there's a flag down, but Price dives to about the 5-yard line. So we'll get the call in just a moment from Perkins if Mike cooperates with us. Get the call from Perkins.
Blocking the back, offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat. First down.
So I think that we figured it out. You have to angle the antenna at him every single time.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, especially with this field. Usually we could just keep it upward. But and it's timeout called by the Eagles with about 6:05 left to go. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. .603 left to go in the second. It's about 6:05 on the scoreboard. First down and 20. Griffin, shovel pass. That's to Liddell. Jamari Liddell weaving through. Gain of 2-3 yards on the play, second down.
Good hard run, but again, they were able to push Ezell inside, and that's where Lancaster's big boys are, able to make the tackle.
Of course, the clock's winding down here. You've got a good chance to get another score here before the half. You start taking shots at this point, or do you try to trust the run game for Ezell?
No, you keep doing what's working, and that's taking shots.
So now about a second down and 23. It's a reversal. Right side, Liddell again. He's got on his feet. Liddell staying on his feet. Touchdown for the Eagles.
He had speed. He was not being brought down.
Not seeing any flags on
no
the
flags.
field. So touchdown.
It stands.
And the beauty of replay, that reversal well executed.
Well, he did a good job building up the speed, coming around the backfield, and then as soon as he turned that corner, he wasn't being brought down.
It's all over from there.
You got to think they start trying extra points at some point.
Probably at some point.
Although they've picked up all their two-point conversions, so that aspect is working well for them.
The pitch, there goes Price. Breaks the plane of the goal line. 2-point conversion is good. 32-12. The Eagles lead by 20 against Lancaster in a battle for first place in the playoffs. 5:05 left to go in the second. And ball goes out of bounds.
Yep. Lancaster's going to take the ball right there at the 40.
Kick is out of bounds.
They have to answer. They have to answer. They've got to come up with some kind of solution.
Marked at about the 45-yard line.
Probably see something going for them. They got about 5:04 left to go in the second. They've got plenty of time to push down the field. Only down by 20.
And that Lighthouse Christian Community game is at halftime. Lions lead the Colts 27-14.
If they had gotten that W against Bowling Green, who knows what they would have done in the postseason. Would have been crazy. So with 5:04 left to go in the first half. It's a 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line for the Knights. Again, the Knights have been positioned with great field advantage. Again, the Knights have had great field advantage going through on most of their drives. The only issue is being able to capitalize as it's lost again in the backfield. Loss of about 8 yards on the play.
That's rough. That's rough. And center's got to settle down. Focus on good plays.
And on a 2nd and 18, Lancaster's offense just having struggles throughout the first half. It's going to be a very heated locker room from the offense coordinator, Sean Bell, and, of course, Coach Jason Bragg. It's going to be very heated. Either heated or just some good encouragement. Toss across the middle. The catch is made by T.J. Robbins, staying on his feet. That defense can't get to him. Tries to push off and finally brought down from behind by Griffin and in front by Liddell. And a big reception by T.J. Robbins.
Great throw, great catch, good connection. You got to keep it going. Spencer in the second half. South Haven tried to kick an onside kick. Crutcher Ezell took it back to the house. 2-point conversion's no good. Riverside leads South Haven 30-6.
Oh, there is a flag on the field. Get the call from Perkins. Just a moment.
Right, good.
The holding call.
So a holding call on the offense and
Brings up a
signal not working on that one. 4:13 left to go as they continue to run down the clock. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line, so tack on to the end of the run. Excuse me, the end of the reception, and end of the run there by Horde results in a maybe back to the line of scrimmage second half.
Run game has not worked out very well for Lancaster, especially trying it up the middle.
brings up a 2nd down for the Knights.
It's been tough for him thus far. Still trying, though. So now our clock synced up, about 3:30 left to go in the second. On a 2nd and 11. Bragg again. Likes to call the audibles on the fly. Bragg looking for the option across the middle. The catch incomplete.
Just too low. Just too low for the young man.
It's intended for more.
Just shy on the play. Coverage there by number 9, Andrew Webster.
So about 3:16 left to go in the second. The Knights are facing a 3rd and 11. Third down. Bragg trying to find something going. Deep toss across the middle. The catch is made. How about Isaiah Moore for the touchdown?
That's a big league throw from Deuce Bragg right over the middle, and he threaded the needle on that one. There was not a lot of space, and he was able to find his man Moore. Right, boom, right where only his man could get it. Perfect catch, perfect throw. Good timing with it, too.
The shootout is very much here in Smyrna Middle. And 2-point conversion attempt to make it a 12-point game.
Lancaster hasn't made any 2 points tonight. This is very important.
Across the middle, that's their first one of the game. 2-point conversion is good. 32-20, Ezell still leads, but the Knights only need 2 touchdowns to tie it up. .309 left to go in the second. Kickoff here for Lancaster. Get it high up. And muff the snap and down at about the 25.
I almost think Ezell needs to try a different return man. That's twice now. And I don't know that just the guy fielding it here is the same guy, but you got to figure something out.
Again, if you're involved in the senior ceremony, please make your way down to the pulpit.
Ezell-Harding will start out this offensive drive on the 25-yard line. Basically, if it were a touchback. And of course, Lancaster will receive the kickoff in the second half, so it's stop here and a potential score for Lancaster will put them in great position. Griffin, quarterback keep. Left side, Griffin to the outside. Just read the defense perfectly, staying on his feet, being chased down. Maybe one man to get him, but it's not going to matter. Griffin stays on the feet to the end zone. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Eagles.
When Ezell needs something, the quarterback just does it himself. 75 yards to the house. And he just found the edge. They could not contain him, keep him inside, and he busted free. He's got such speed. I mean, it's insane speed.
Eagles go for a try.
Just an incredible play by Ezell-Harding, and leading by 18. We'll see if they can go up by 20. They've made all of their 2-point conversions thus far.
Well, that's been big because, you know, without those.
Flags thrown. We'll probably get a false start.
Dead ball. Movement prior to the snap. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Without those 2-point conversions, Ezell would have been at 24, so it would have been 24-20. Those 2 points have really come up big as the difference.
So now a 2-point conversion attempt from the 7-yard line. Shovel to Price and into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good, 40-20. The Knights scored, but the Eagles immediately responded. 2:49 left to go, and tipped off originally by one of the Lancaster front linemen and to the 40.
All right, listen, we got another Dark Connection touchdown. David DeMichael Black for Riverside Christian. 2-point conversions look good. Knights 38, Patriots 12.
It's a good thing they're facing each other in the last week of the regular season. Chance for South Haven to see what their competition is at home going into the playoff game next week.
Exactly. Well, and for Riverside, you know, the chance to close out a season – 6-2 is huge.
Especially after all that's occurred with Creasy. There's a timeout on the field. Yep. Chance for them to play for a championship if they win 2 playoff games. And with the way they are in the bracket, they're going to face either Ezell or Lancaster, 2 teams they both lost to, but they at least have film on them. And those games, at least the Ezell game, that was their first game of the season on the road. So Riverside has had a lot of time to improve and figure out the kinks from that.
Well, it's a wild card situation. I mean, anything could happen.
But, of course, they did play Lancaster back in week 9, so 2 weeks ago from today. So they, at least more recently, they had a good game plan against the
8-9 would have been
Knights,
2 months.
Now a 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. See if Lancaster can get a score before the half. Bragg tosses it deep on the right side. Broken up at the last second by Griffin. It's an incredible play.
Well, great throw by Deuce, and on that one, he was able to step up in the pocket and step past the defenders, really put his whole momentum into the throw and launch it 30 yards down the field. Actually probably closer to 40 yards down the field. But good coverage there by Ezell.
Second and 10. Bragg scrambles. He's got to run. How about maybe 11, 12 yards?
Enough to move the chains.
That moves the chains there. Now I just heard to my left from the eye in the sky for Lancaster saying, tell him to run it next time and he'll get a gain of about 12, 13 yards. Good call by the assistant coach up in the booth.
Yeah, it happens.
That's what an eye in the sky does for you. Another set of downs on the 50.
Spencer, we have a little critique for you on the broadcast.
Fantastic. What do we got?
So, when a pass gets broken up, all they have is the last second to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep saying broken up at the last second.
Deep toss, right side, incomplete.
Don't do it. Fight it. Don't do it. Don't
Great
do
defensive play.
All right. Good job, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Thanks to our producer back in his home, J.D. Young, for that one.
Our monitor. I was producer the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Every broadcast has to have a producer.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who sits at home and doesn't do anything but critiques the whole broadcast.
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
Helps produce it. Produces our website.
He's going to have the website updated as soon as these games are over, so y'all can go straight to 8manextreme.com and get all the updated scores and standings.
As Bragg scrambles, being chased down. Bragg gets it off and almost intercepted. Could have been a pickoff for Andrew Webster.
Well, he was focused somewhat on just batting it down, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Coming up on the Star Physical Therapy halftime report, we'll give you any scoring updates we have at the time. We'll also give you our analysis of the first half, what we've seen from this 40-20 game. And it really may be 40-20 at the moment, but it's basically been a shootout throughout the game.
It really has. You've seen two offenses that are just So good. Just go at each other.
On 3rd and 10. Bragg, toss across the middle. The catch is made by TJ Robbins, going to the house. The senior, how do you do?
That was a bullet across the middle. And once he got the ball, it was afterburner time. Big answer for Lancaster.
And another 6 on the board for the Knights.
Now, this 2 points every 2-point conversion is important. But
they need at least one 2-point conversion made
this.
out of 3 touchdowns.
They need this right here.
That Ezell defense has blocked all of their 2-point conversions except one. The 2-point makes it a number divisible by 7. Bragg tosses it left side. Hargrove can't make the catch, just missed it in between his hands.
Hello, Mr. Post.
Got the post monster on that one. Exactly 2 minutes
Post
left
monster.
in the second. Basically a 2-minute warning, and it's a 14-point lead. Exactly 2 minutes left to go in the second as Lancaster kicks it away. Tries an onside kick and muffed the recovery, but Michael Davis quick to react. The sophomore making sure that Lancaster doesn't get a chance to score.
How about we get some updates, Spencer? 40-yard touchdown pass, David Black to Crutcher Ezell. 2-point conversion is no good. But Riverside Christian's going to lead South Haven Christian 44-12.
So 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line for the Eagles. This is one of those situations where Lancaster gets the ball back to start the second half. You really want to get another score in here to have more comfort. First and 10. It's a handoff to the left. Liddell tripped up at the 47-yard line in Knights territory. Gain of about 5 yards for 2nd and 5.
12-yard touchdown pass from Aiden Hooper to Christian Sharp. 2-point conversion's good. Lighthouse leads Christian Community 35-14.
You really wonder if that second Bowling Green game in the latter half of the season should have counted for playoff eligibility.
It's a completely different, you look at the first 2 or 3 games of the season for Lighthouse, it's a completely different Lighthouse team. I would say.
Shovel pass to Price. Right side, staying on his feet. Is he going to weave through that defense again? Tiptoeing the sideline, finally forced out of bounds. What a big hit. Big move made by, looked like Isaiah Mora, either that
No,
or
Jordan
David
Horde with the hit.
Horde.
Jordan Horde with the hit, forcing him out of bounds. That was a solid collision.
We got the replay on that one. Not a scoring play, but big move regardless by Price. As clock continues to run down. About 60 seconds left. Synced up, and Griffin up the middle to the end zone, touchdown.
Up the gut of the defense. Nothing they could do on that one. And all night, they'd been forcing him back inside. Well, all of a sudden, they got caught chasing him. And he made them pay.
So 36 left in the half, and it's a 20-point lead for the Eagles. Chance to make it 22. And Ezell-Harding is trying to make history by being only the second team to go undefeated in their first season in 8-man football, at least undefeated in conference. The only other team to do that, Franklin Classical, back in 2011.
Well, it would have been, yeah. Well, this would have been the first team to go undefeated in conference in their first season. Classical had been in this conference for a year.
Excuse me, 2010.
Or two years.
It was 2010 then, because they were undefeated their first season. They didn't take any losses.
2009.
2009.
Yeah,
So
undefeated
second team to do it. Ezell close to that, but misses the two-point conversion. It's 46-26. 36 seconds left. Won't go to commercial on this one just because how close it is to halftime.
Bowling Green Christian gets a touchdown on the Warriors. Third quarter, it's 48-18. Cowboys lead Bowling Green. Third quarter, also Riverside Christian 44, South Haven Christian 12. And in the third quarter, it's the Lions 35, the Colts 14. This could be a huge win for Lighthouse to close out the season for their seniors. Big win.
It always begs the question of should Lighthouse and Bowling Green got their business done in the first week of the season, of course, so they earned their slot in the playoffs. Interesting move there as it goes more than 10 yards. Horde picks it up. Excuse me, Robbins picked it up there and got out of bounds at about the 39, 40-yard line.
Well, Spencer, you can't really have another game before next weekend. Screw it. Let's do chili cook-off Sunday afternoon. Extreme Radio.
We'll have a chili cook-off between
Coach Hollis and Coach Brown.
And whichever one tastes most like Jets Pizza is the winner.
What is it with you and chili tasting like Jets Pizza?
You don't remember that? That was what Coach Flanders suggested to us. Remember, if it gets to a tiebreaker, said whichever one tastes like Jets Pizza gets the playoff spot.
I don't know.
Hey, I mean, you're the taste tester.
I would love for Gage Holman to be able to get in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
To close out his senior year, close out his career. I'd love that.
That would be fantastic. All the guys for Bowling Green their senior year to get in the playoffs. Deep toss left side to Robbins. Makes the catch in coverage. Jamari Liddell just couldn't break it up.
He went up and came down with a football. He picked the football tree. And Ezell
there is a flag.
Had nothing they could do about it.
Holding called against the defense. That's waved off because the
Penalty.
will take that first.
So
Decline. Lancaster wants to keep that yardage on the throw.
So resume the clock, and you got to get a quick snap off here with 20 seconds left. Bragg's got to snap it. Scramble, right side, incomplete between two Lancaster players. Is it between Horde and Moore?
Hey, Christian Community scored another touchdown. 2-point conversion's good. They're down 35-22. Another touchdown pass from David Black to Crutcher Ezell. 2-point conversion's good. They lead 52-12. And Freedom with a touchdown pass. They now lead 54-18.
You got 11 seconds left in the half. It's probably going to be 2, maybe 3 shots here.
Well, second down, you're going to get 2 shots, but you have to get the ball out of bounds.
Bragg across the middle, intercepted.
Oh,
Almost
he dropped
intercepted.
it. No, he dropped it.
It's ruled incomplete.
After the drop, that's called incomplete on the defense.
It's incomplete by the side judge. It looked like he see if I can get a replay on that. And
Timeout called by Knights.
timeout called by Lancaster. We'll get the replay on that just to see. Close there. Catch 1-2.
Yeah, it should have been a fumble. That should have been a fumble recovered by Ezell.
That's close. You have to make those.
That's
those
a huge break for
decisions.
Lancaster, though. And unfortunately, the officials don't have the privilege of having instant replay.
Replay, of course. Now, of course, the officials are conferring. So that's the question of. Now, it is the ruling on the field.
Being able to see the footage that we can see and that people, here in the press box, they can see with their systems.
Yep. Corrected clear and obvious mistakes.
That's what's needed.
Corrected clear and obvious mistakes.
Exactly. It's inexcusable that they cannot use the technology that's available. We're still living in the 1950s.
Regardless of that, 2 seconds left in the half, and Lancaster has 1 shot left.
Well, you know where they're going to go. On the left side, TJ Robbins is all by himself, matched up one-on-one, looks like with Jamari Lindell. That's where Bragg is going. I'll tell you right now. Now, I might be wrong, but I think he goes there.
And false start. False start in the offense. He's got his microphone off, thinks it's on, and
Bring the ball back 5 yards. Repeat third down. 2 seconds left.
there we
on
go.
the board.
I think we got it corrected. There we go. So now he thought he clicked it off, so we good to go. 2 seconds left and move it back 5 yards. That changes the dynamic a little bit on the 44-yard line. Bragg can throw it towards the end zone. He's got the arm. Question is, will it be fully on target? Got receivers, and there's a flag down. There's a little bit of confusion there. I guess it's a free play. So that time expires. That's the question. Was it? If it's a defensive penalty, it's an on-time down, but confusion there on the sideline. See what we got.
Ineligible. It's going to be an ineligible man downfield. Penalties declined. Halftime.
46-26, the Eagles lead by 20 going into the halftime locker room. Star Physical Therapy halftime report is coming up in just about 30 seconds. You are watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Welcome into the Star Physical Therapy halftime report, everybody. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's the CCS bench Hall of Famer James Shannon. 46-26, the final score here. It's an extended halftime because it is senior night. It's going to be a little bit longer and a lot of great time for both teams to regroup, especially Lancaster. Down by 26. As far as I'm aware, nobody has scored this many points. Down by 20, nobody has scored this many points on Lancaster the entire season. So their defense a little bit shook. What's the formula for their offense to try and get some more points on the board?
Well, this offensive line, they got to back up and punt. They're just now being able to give Bragg a little bit of time to throw the football. That first quarter, though, they didn't know what they were doing. That Ezell defensive line, that whole defense, linebackers, everybody, they pinned their ears back and they were going, and they were pressuring Bragg. And he didn't know how to respond. He struggled against Classical when they did it as well. So that's something they have to fix. But as Lancaster's been able to give him time, he's been able to make some throws. These receivers, at times they struggle, but they've been coming up with Robbins has been phenomenal so far here in this first half.
And for Ezell-Harding, they must have seen that FCS film because they're doing fantastic with pressuring Bragg and keeping that Lancaster offense only 26 points. What's the formula for them to just hold out the lead and clinch the number 1 seed?
Well, it's keep your foot on the gas. It's Derek Griffin, taking it 75 yards if he has to. But it's that young man. The offense pivots around him, and if he can make plays, Ezell, they're not playing next week.
They'll have a potential bye week if they can hold it out for 24 more minutes. Got about 18 minutes until the Second half begins because of the senior night festivities. You're watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. We'll be back in 18. Welcome to the start of the
60-18.
second half, ladies and gentlemen. Spencer Thompson and James Shannon proud to bring you every bit of the action here from Lancaster Christian Academy's home field, Smyrna Middle School. Lancaster receiving for the second half, 46-26, a 20-point game for first place in the MTAC South Division as Lancaster recovers the onside kick attempt. It gets to the 40-yard line. It's a great field advantage for them to start off in going into the second half.
Ezell tried a little trickery-dickery-do, and it didn't work out. Great job by Lancaster to get the return. Spencer, while we got a second real quick, how about a couple updates that happened during halftime? Lighthouse Christian leads Christian Community 41-22. Cowboys lead the Warriors 60-30. It's Riverside Christian 60, South Haven 18.
You got to think there's something going on with CCS right now, because that's not the way
There's
got
to be some injury situations going on.
Either that or maybe Lighthouse is a better team than everyone's seen on paper. An interception! Kadarius Price with the pick! And he's taking it down the sideline, staying in bounds. He's going to go all the way for a pick six.
Now there's a flag on the backside, Spencer.
I got the replay on that interception, but there is a flag.
Let's wait to get the call.
Ronnie Perkins, again, the white cap for tonight's game. We'll get the call from him in just a moment. The players looking like they're bringing this back. Some of the officials just having discussions with the Ezell players.
Now, I think the interception will stand.
We'll see if we can get the call from Perkins, and we'll get the call.
Looks like we'll get the call.
Personal foul, blindside block against Ezell. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Ezell-Harding.
So the interception's good.
Interception's good for
And we got the replay on it. We'll see if maybe we could see the blindside block on it.
touchdown called back.
And here we go.
First down.
Just a throw over the middle. It's been their bread and butter all night. And Price able to jump the route.
Block.
Price able to jump
There
the route.
it is. There it was. It was looked like 72 Logan Davidson.
Well, here you
called
go.
for
That's
that.
how you start a half right there.
And movement on the right side. A run by Griffin. First down and 10. How about Griffin to make another play like that? And the Eagles are just trying to get another score to get more of a roll on the Lancaster Knights than they already have.
Hey, Christian Community picked up a Lancaster Christian fumble, took it to the house. They're down 41-30, minute 20 left in the game.
Now in Knights territory, the Eagles on about the 47-yard line. Running the motion, shovel pass to Price. Price, we've seen him weave through that defense before, can't stay on his feet, gets down at about the 38-yard line.
Good hard run there. That's what you need.
The Eagles have just had a really good offensive plan going into this game, especially on the road. I mean, not too far from their home field back in southeast Nashville.
Manny Ding with a touchdown run. 2-point conversion is no good. But Spencer in Fayetteville, that's a ball game. Riverside Christian 52. Riverside Christian 60. South Haven Christian 24.
It's getting close to winding down there in Fayetteville as Price weaves through the defense, several spin moves, finally brought down by Elijah Moore. Make that a 1st and 10. It's about 10:13 left to go and winding down. About 10 minutes left in the third. Carson Dozier operating the clock tonight. Was the referee, white cap for the championship last year. Of course, Ronnie Perkins, white cap down there. Umpire Gary Nicholson. Derek Brookshire, the linesman, white cap for the Battle of Franklin last night. Howard Schmel, the line judge, and Andra Johnson, the back judge. So best of the best here for this crucial game.
I think they've done a great job tonight.
Griffin up the middle. It's weaving through that defense, and Griffin is to the end zone for a touchdown.
Sure tacklers up the middle. Not so sure. Griffin punctures him again. And it's just a sharp, sharp run. Yep, gone. What a run.
The Eagles are playing like a team that's only had a loss to the defending national champions out of Alabama. And they're looking to get their first undefeated season in conference. It's only the second team to do that when making the move to 8-man football since 2009 with Franklin Classical School.
I'll tell you what, Spencer, the 60-24 Riverside win over South Haven, very interesting. Brings a lot of intrigue to their playoff matchup next week, where you can only catch it, and you can only catch it right here.
Dead ball foul, movement prior to the snap. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the try.
Caught him on a false start there, and again, the 2-point conversion attempts here. Ezell-Harding has not missed a 2-point conversion in the game thus far. And it's shown on the scoreboard.
It's crucial, you know, when you score. Hang on, I'm having a brain cramp. 6 touchdowns, 2 to 12 points. So right now they would be sitting at 40. It'd be 40-26. Only a 2-score game. Right now they got an opportunity. Well, they've already doubled up Lancaster.
Griffin.
Nope, he stopped
the plane to the goal line.
Oh, he got it. Wow.
54-26. The Eagles trying to get another score on the board, trying to just wrap it up and get the #1 seed in the South. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And sponsored by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. Again, that formation attempt of the onside kick for the Eagles goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line. So they will place the ball at the 46 for the Knights.
Kind of backfired on them there, but good field position for Lancaster.
Procedure against the kicking team, kick out of bounds. The ball will be awarded with Lancaster at the spot where it went out of bounds, first down.
Ronnie Perkins getting some good mic time tonight.
It's solid. We just had to figure it out.
It's about 9:32 left to go in the third, and we'll see if Lancaster can get anything going here. It's just their offense has really – their offense is skilled. They managed to put 26 points up against Ezell. It's just that defensive line has woven through. And how about Horde getting tripped up in the backfield?
That's Valbuena. Valbuena was having nothing of that run by Horde. Absolutely just shot in.
Valbuena, one of the Eagles players nominated to go to the Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game. The sophomore on the voting at the moment. And Valbuena has just been a huge key factor for the defensive line and really is shown in this game. We've called 2 other Ezell games earlier in the year, the Battle of the Bell and the opening game against Riverside. As across the middle, another interception. Kadarius Price gets past the defender, no flags, trying to get in, and touchdown, Ezell.
And Valbuena on the backside of the play, making sure he didn't draw any kind of a penalty. Look at Darius Price. Great
Know where the
read.
pass was going.
Great read. He jumped the route. You're exactly right. He jumped the route. Absolutely able to make a play.
I'd like to thank the post monster for not letting us get the touchdown again. But
Shot up.
60-26 the score now. A 2-point conversion here makes it a 35-point game, or 35-point lead, or 36 actually, and then it's not what you would have expected from these two teams.
If you'd have told me we were going to have a mercy rule in this game.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So this 2-point conversion is crucial. Again, have not missed any 2-point conversion attempts. That's probably why they're going for 2-pointers. Probably a big reason.
All right, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There's left side. Rush attempt to go in. There is a flag, though, and he got to the pylon. 2-point conversion is good.
Well, let's check the flag. They might make him redo it.
Holding during the run. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the try.
So that's huge. Brings it back to the 12-yard line. Like that 8:30 left to go in the third, and the longest 2-point conversion attempt I've seen in a while. Attempting it from the 12-yard line.
They've got the space. They can try to air the ball out. Maybe a fade.
Griffin looking for his options. Left side, 2-point
Post
conversion
monster.
is good. Jamari Liddell gets the reception, and still, and now a 62-26 game. The mercy rule about to be enacted. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit chuckminerhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. And maybe we'll see that. We won't see that quick switch formation, but another low squib kick going to the 30-yard line, picked up at about the 27. And rush on the left side. How about this return from Lancaster? Down to about the 50, and at least about a 20-yard return. And TJ Robbins trying to give his team more of a chance to get back in it.
You got to have some kind of a spark right now, especially with Lancaster struggling offensively. I mean, Bragg has thrown as many interceptions in this game as he's thrown all year. He's struggling right now. This line isn't doing him any favors.
And you would think in this, and again, with such a crucial game on the line and all that goes into it, Ezell-Harding really knows what's at stake, and they've come to play for sure.
Well, I mean, this has to be one of the best decisions in school history. At least it's what it's looking like right now.
Pass across the middle, catch incomplete. Clock continues to run, though. It's intended for Isaiah Moore. And
Spencer, how about this? We came this close to having an unbeaten team in the regular season for 3 straight years. Won't happen. Streak is broken.
It was already broken earlier in the year by.
Well, no, Lancaster would have been undefeated in the regular season.
Came this close to. Lancaster could have gotten that. They did take a loss to the Webb School last year, and taking a loss to potentially Ezell-Harding if it holds out here. As Jordan Horde tries to weave through at a gain of about 2 yards for 3rd and 8.
It was a hard run. It was a hard run just to try to pick up some yards and help your offense out, give your quarterback a breather.
You, of course, got to give credit to Lancaster. I mean, to put 26 points up against the tough defensive line of Ezell, and, you know, they're still in the playoffs regardless. It's just that they got to go right back to work, and they only have 7 days to turn around to host Bowling Green, assuming that holds out here. And Bragg scrambles left side, toss. The catch is made, diving down to about the 18-yard line. Big catch by T.J. Robinson.
Hey, the senior, he's trying to help his quarterback out as much as he can. He is laying it on the line tonight. Jamari Teague, another touchdown run. Lighthouse Christian with just a few minutes left in the ball game. They lead the Colts 47-30.
Here's a run by Jordan Horde to the left. There's a flag in the backfield, and that Ezell defense stops him there.
Get a flag in the backfield.
Ronnie Perkins is the one who threw the flag, and see what ruling he gives.
I think he jumped on top of him after he was down.
Might have been unnecessary roughness, something like that. We'll get the call.
Holding, offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
So holding instead of some extracurricular activity, it's brought back, and that's a tough break for Lancaster.
Boy, we're on a roll with this mic.
Yeah,
Hey, it's
we figured it out.
it's working.
It's a work in progress.
Ta-da.
Don't ever do that again.
It's amazing.
We always have those moments on air where we keep telling each other never to do that again. That's the one time I've said that this season. Here's Bragg on a 2nd and 25. Brought down by that Ezell defense. Braxton Coleman is the man to bring him down.
Well, you had Valbuena, and it looked like Steinley was closing in. And Coleman able to clean up the leftovers.
So now 3rd and, say that's close to half of the field. But 3rd and however many yards. Bragg is on the shotgun and calls a timeout. So with about 4:15 left to go in the 3rd, it's a 62-26 lead. .4:14 left to go in the 3rd. Lancaster called one of their 3 timeouts. Could come back to bite them down the stretch. So on a 3rd down and about half of the field, Bragg alone in the shotgun, airs it out on the left side and overthrows his receiver, incomplete.
Hey, 2 minutes left to go up in Antioch. Christian Community turns the ball over on downs. Lighthouse just has to run out the clock. They're going to pick up a 47-30 win if the score stays the way it is. Christian Community, they've got next week off, and they're going to need it because there has to be some kind of injury situation going on right now. Or it's legitimately that Lancaster, or Lighthouse rather, has just really, really developed. One of those two things.
Gage Holman in the playoffs. Imagine if we'd see Hooper in the playoffs this year. I mean, next year it's going to be interesting.
Hey, guess what? You could see them both in the 2019 Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game.
Yep. Assuming they get invited, because the vote. At least
I said
what the
could.
voting was.
You could.
I didn't hear the could part. That's what happens when I don't listen to my broadcast.
Exactly.
Down to about the 7-yard line for the punt, and the Mercy Rule continues to run. Ezell, it's just run down the clock at this point.
Well, hey, I must have seen that text late. Game is over. It's Lighthouse Christian 47, Christian Community 30. Lighthouse Christian 47, Christian Community 30.
Yes. And Christian Community's got the #1 seed in the North too, so incredible. Incredible win for the Lighthouse. Now with about 2:30 and winding down with the Mercy Rule, name of the game is clock management. But for Lancaster, they got to get a defensive stop to have any huge hopes here. And shovel pass over. That's left side rush, forced out of bounds. That part doesn't matter. And
it was a good solid run, good solid tackle. Just a good,
KJ Stockard on the run.
Good football play. Good football play. Hey, it is a great way for these seniors, for Lighthouse, to close out their careers, close out the season, pick up a win against a team who's the first seed in the playoffs. Can't ask to, outside of making the playoffs, can't ask to end your career any better.
We'll talk about all of that stuff on Sunday with Extreme Radio at 4, but it's going to be a lot to talk about, and what we're going to ask, that'll be the big questions to ask about. A lot of people will be asking, what does this mean for Christian Community? What does this mean for Lighthouse going forward? We'll answer all of those questions on Sunday at 4. We got a special guest coming in studio on Sunday as well. You won't want to miss it, the pre-playoff show. And Griffin staying on his feet, no knee or elbow down. They didn't rule him down by contact. Fantastic move by Derek Griffin to keep the play alive.
He's not a quitter. He's not a quitter at all.
I don't think we've ever seen any quitters on Ezell-Harding's team either. We've seen that throughout this game.
No. This has been a dogfight. Ezell just has happened to get the upper hand on Lancaster.
And again, the winner of this game has a first-round bye. They join Christian Community in that regard. The loser has to turn around and host Bowling Green Christian Academy in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, it looks like it's going to be, I'm barring a miracle.
It's going to be Lancaster.
It looks like it's going to be Lancaster hosting Bowling Green, which we've seen that game before in Bowling Green. It was not pretty. But who knows? Bowling Green could bring it to another level.
Gage Holman, when you put him in playoff mode, he's been in that situation with the bowl game last year.
But he's never been in playoff mode. We've never seen Gage Holman in playoff mode. We don't know what that's like. That could be Gage Holman on, metaphorical steroids.
Speaking of Gage Holman, we'll hopefully get you a scoring update from him at the end of this commercial break. It's the end of the third quarter, 62-26. The Mercy Rule will continue to run, but the Eagles is trying to wrap it up here in Smyrna and clinch the #1 seed in the South. TheKingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business.
Yep.
Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. So with 12 minutes left to go in the fourth, it's time where we usually go over the helmet schedule and preview stuff. And if you know the formula well, get a shot of the coaches. We'll get to that later in the quarter with the 12 minutes and winding down that we'll have left. Ezell possesses the football. So with this run up the middle, the Lancaster defense can't bring him down.
Oh, my gosh.
What a play. What a big move by Braxton.
That was
Coleman.
almost a Beastquake run. If he would have scored. Sports Center.
Right. Ezell-Harding, 8 games straight. They did have a scheduled bye week in between their Riverside and Classical game, but they picked up a game with the Tennessee Heat. But just picture these games straight.
I'm trying to picture it.
Riverside, Tennessee Heat, Classical, at Evangel, at Swanee.
Well, the Swanee game was a forfeit.
Forfeit, so they did have a break. Lighthouse at home, at CCS, at FCA, bye week, and then here on the road against Lancaster.
They have not backed down from anyone.
They've had 2 bye weeks within. They've had 2 byes within the last 6 weeks.
And
But
you
granted,
couldn't see the rust.
right.
It's not like they had a bunch of rust.
Yeah, that was a tough stretch for them, especially from that Evangel game forward up against opponents like Christian Community.
Well, and they played Lighthouse, and we saw what Lighthouse did tonight.
Yeah.
And against Ezell,
We saw
Lighthouse,
what they did in the Battle of the Bell.
Well, Lighthouse they wouldn't go away.
Nope.
They wouldn't quit. I still would like to see a Lighthouse Classical game. I think that would be a great football game.
Lancaster Christian, they had 5 games straight. They played St. Andrews Swanee, so not a huge tough game, but they at least tried, at least put up a decent effort. At Bowling Green, hosted FCA, at Classical, then hosting Riverside, and then a bye week leading up to here. So, I mean, Lancaster, not as tough of a schedule, arguably, in the last month or two, but they've had some decent opponents in the mix.
Yeah.
Is that all you got for me?
No, it's been a crazy stretch for both these teams, and you know, I don't think anyone could have predicted this.
No one would have predicted this.
No one would have predicted this because you know, the only inkling you would have had is that Classical game, is that Franklin Classical game, and even then you think, well, I mean, Classical with the record that they had wasn't maybe a fluke, but I think we've seen tonight it's not a fluke. And if you're Bowling Green, you know, hey, guess what?
Oh, Bowling Green's watching this game. That's no question. They're watching.
The problem is, I don't know if Bowling Green has the personnel to do what Ezell's doing tonight. Now they may, and they may surprise me. That happens all the time. And Coach Don Brown can cook up something that no one else can cook up. They could do it. It is possible.
Yep.
But
at the end of the day,
they know the formula they have to do.
Yeah.
That's what they have to execute. If you're Lancaster, it's simple. Protect your quarterback, let him make the throws, and sling it all over the field, and you'll win. You'll have mercy rule by halftime.
Somewhat good news for Bowling Green. They played Lancaster back in week 6.
That is true.
So they've at least seen them. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise because even with this interesting punt there, back to about the 42. But it's really good for Bowling Green because with facing Lancaster, they faced them earlier in the year, so they have film on them already.
Yeah, and they kind of know what they run. They kind of know what to expect. And I'm sure Coach Brown, I'm sure the whole put pressure on Deuce Bragg, I'm sure that's not a surprise to him. It's not. It can't be.
Trying to see from the huddle, there was a timeout there. Coach Dustin McGee, this is his 2nd season as the head coach of the Eagles. He was 3-9 overall in 8-man, but
he's right.
I don't know if your finger pointing
it won't
show it.
It won't show it.
He's in the huddle, of
right
course,
there.
but he's 3-9 overall, coming in from an 11-man record, but now 8-1. That's a 12-10 record.
Hey,
Not too
he's
bad
got the
going into
pedigree.
the
He's got the pedigree. He's got the smarts. It's not a surprise that they did well. I wasn't surprised that they did well.
Yeah,
I'm really not.
Hey, man, you predicted it well. So 8:26. You got to love the DJ here at Lancaster playing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in Stadium.
Do you have to?
Yeah, that's a good song. It's a good jam.
That's an objective view.
You are about to. You're
Subjective
excuse
view,
me.
whatever.
You're about to make some people upset with that comment. Just remember, we have to be more positive.
Okay.
8:26 left to go. There's a timeout called by Lancaster. And that'll just run the clock again as Bragg tries to get something going here. And catch made by, I believe it's Horde. Horde trying to stay on his feet, gets the first down to about the 47 as the clock continues to run. Any updates around the league?
Well, the 2 games have gone final. Lighthouse over Christian Community, Riverside over South Haven. Not a good night for the North.
Unfortunately.
Not a great night for the North, but still waiting on Bowling Green. I believe it's gone final. The last update was
as an incomplete pass there intended. Complete pass there intended, and Horde was the intended receiver and heading to 2nd and 10.
So last thing we heard was Freedom 68, Bowling Green Christian 30.
So Coach Jason Bragg, 2nd season overall at 8-2. You look at their season, they have not lost a game up to this point. So make that 6, 7, 8-0 going into this game. That make his total overall at 16-2. Looking at 16-3.
Not that bad.
Not bad for 2 seasons at all, especially with the move to 8-man football. Toss right side. The catch is made at the 35. Good catch. Says Moore loses the football. Loose. Does Ezell get to it? Waiting for a signal. It's turned over. It's turned over. Ruled by Perkins. They've signaled it the other way. Ezell's got the ball.
Here's the call. Well,
Got some PA time there, James.
well, there was going to be a call.
Yeah. Tried to get it in time, but it is a turnover. We'll get the replay. We got the replay for you here.
Backup DBs for Ezell getting the job done. That was a dinger.
Yeah, Isaiah Moore lost it before he was down by contact.
Yep.
And great job by the Eagles to just jump on it. The clock winds down here. But, yeah, 16-3 after 2 seasons. Not bad. Really not.
Not at all.
And, of course, they did win the consolation game last year. Only one of his losses, only 2 losses last year coming from Webb and then losing to Christian Community, the eventual MTAC champions last year. So
with the loss tonight, he'll be 16-3.
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully not fully repeating, as there's a flag in the backfield, but hopefully not repeating his last year of losing in the playoffs. But we'll get the call from Perkins. He's talking with the players, let them know. Yeah, we'll get the call.
Illegal shift on the offense. That penalty's been declined. 2nd down.
Just making sure they got the right ruling on there, and about 5.5 left.
That'll bring it to 2nd down for the Eagles.
About 5:32. It's getting chilly here in Smyrna. About 50 degrees. It was about 67 at kickoff, something like that.
It's kind of cold.
Getting kind of chilly here in Smyrna. And ball to about the 40-yard line, 3rd down and 2. So the 4th quarter, and for all of the hard work from both of these 2 teams, of course, they are qualified for the playoffs. Lancaster going to host Bowling Green, and the winner of that game goes on against Christian Community, which, with their loss tonight, it's going to be really interesting to see how that side of the bracket plays out for the MTAC playoffs.
Well, you know, they're like we said, they're gonna get that first round bye. We've talked about it. South Haven's gonna host Riverside Christian, who, got a big win against them tonight.
And we'll talk about it more on Sunday with Extreme Radio, but it's just going to be one of those really interesting playoff brackets. And it's short of the line again. And of course, you look at the other side of the bracket. That's going to be even more interesting. South Haven and Riverside. That's going to be a really good game in the first round. And then the winner of that goes against Ezell. I'd argue either of those teams is going to be a really interesting semi to see what comes out of that.
Well, I think Riverside's a dark horse. Riverside is rolling right now, kind of like Lighthouse.
But of course, for South Haven,
Riverside could be dangerous if not taken seriously. Hey, how about this stat? This is the first time in 8-man football that Lancaster will lose here in front of this home crowd, and they don't know how to react.
That's
it's tough. It's tough.
It's their first home loss in 8-man football. It's really difficult to come
that's
here
a good
to Smyrna
kick.
Hill. That was a brilliant punt. Bouncing
It's a
down.
lot better kick than the first one.
Goes down to about the 13. Let's make that 3 minutes of winding down, so Lancaster's offense just, probably get some reps in.
Spencer.
Sometimes they'll need to lay off the water. But about 3 minutes left.
Hey, how about this is interesting. So Lighthouse put up 32 on Ezell, and some of them were last-second touchdowns, to close out the game. But, Lancaster's only put up 26.
Again,
it would be interesting.
Although if Lighthouse had just gotten the win on Bowling Green earlier in the season, they'd be in the playoffs for all of the developments with the Heat dropping out. But again, it's still.
Again, that 6-point loss to Bowling Green at home earlier in the year, it stings.
And Lighthouse, they have not played Lancaster as. How about turning on the guns, running up the middle, and Lancaster will stop the mercy rule. Big rush by Jordan Horde for the touchdown.
Well, Ezell able to have a lot of backups in the game, just trying to get some playing time. And Horde straight up the middle, just gone.
Turned on the Jets with 2:09 left.
Also short a man, 7 men on the field. It happens.
So 62-32, the mercy rule ceased.
So here's what we've got, okay? Ezell used to be 11-man, struggled just due to numbers, came to 8-man, dominated. They should not dip to 7-man. It doesn't go well. Just stay at 8. We'll be just fine.
Looks like a timeout called by Ezell with about 2:09 left to go. It's a 30-point game. We'll have the post game live. We'll have the post game on Instagram live. We'll get an interview with Coach McGee going into first round bye. But it's very interesting. Lancaster going to host Bowling Green, and I would love to see that match. I would love to see that matchup between Horde.
We'll see you all in a few weeks. We'll see you all in a few weeks.
Saying that to the eye in the sky for Ezell-Harding. Had some good conversations with him and just all the people with Ezell and Lancaster. Had some really good conversations with all the people around the league and all the teams that we cover.
Really, Spencer? Do we now?
Really good combos.
Okay.
2:09 left to go, and only two-point conversions made by Lancaster throughout the game, probably out of 4 or 5 touchdowns. Bragg looks for the option and overthrows the receiver.
I think it's safe to call the final in Bowling Green, Spencer. We're going to say Freedom Cowboys 68, Bowling Green Christian 30. So really not a good night for the MTAC North.
Against MTAC teams 5-1?
4-1.
4-1. Against
Riverside.
Tennessee teams 3-1.
Why segregate it?
No need. Just saying it. But hey, I mean, it's 68-34. I mean, still it's still a close game.
68-30. That's a big win.
Yep. Close one.
And they roll into their game against the Tennessee Heat next week with a little momentum.
So at 62-32, Lancaster just trying to wrap it up here. Just turn around, get ready for Bowling Green, and again, Lancaster is a 50. That game against Bowling Green, I believe, is 64-16.
Well,
something like that.
Spencer, let's look it up on the Tennessee High School football app.
Which,
if
if you don't have,
it,
why don't you have it?
what are you doing?
Well, let's see what the schedule showed. If it'll show us there, or you can go to 8manextreme.com and see the scores, results, standings, all of it on there, and we'll have the playoff picture up there in just a little bit. Like that 2:05 shaves 4 seconds off.
It was Lancaster 76, Bowling Green 14, but that was without playoff Gage Holman.
Yep, and that was also back in mid-September.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea what he looks like in the playoffs. I'm very interested to see what he looks like. You know what? For the first time in 8-man football, I'm interested to see what playoff Riverside looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they look like they're in playoff form right now, but I'm very interested to see what playoff Riverside looks like. And you know what? If they beat South Haven next week, it is an upset because they're the 3 seed. South Haven's a 2 seed. It is an upset. But you know what? I'm going to leave it right there. And you're just going to have to listen to Extreme Radio on Sunday, 4 p.m. to hear the rest of my analysis and my 2 cents.
Braxton Coleman takes a loss of about 3-4 yards on the play and just winding it down here. Again, Instagram Live, we'll have the post-game show. We'll get an interview with Coach Dustin McGee.
Loss is about 4 on the play, brings up a 2nd down for the Eagles.
So 2nd and 13, minute 30, and again, give it to Lancaster. They managed to put up 32 against a tough Ezell team. I believe that's, aside from Evangel, that's the most points anybody in the conference has put up against Ezell. I could be wrong, but it's up there certainly.
Well, guess what?
High school football. Or
well, no, we'll go to Max Preps on this one. We'll defer
Not a sponsor, but please pay us, Max Preps.
Hey, got started with Max Preps. Quick scoring is where it's at.
That's where it all began, and likely just one more rushing play down here for
one more play, and that the visitor stands are going to go crazy.
Yep. And that will seal the play.
Okay, so Riverside
bracket.
Scored 30 on them.
Yep.
Lighthouse put up 34. Christian Community put up 34, and Franklin Christian put up 38.
So make that they'll be tied for 2nd or 3rd most points scored, and run up the right side by Braxton Coleman, and just staying on his feet to wind it down. And although it's not officially final until the clock hits 000, that's going to wrap it up. Congratulations to the Ezell-Harding Eagles, undefeated in conference, and they have a 1st-round bye, the #1 seed in the South. 8-man football is seeming like the best move they've made, and they've only got 2 more games to win.
They won the battle of the bye.
62-32, the final score. We are going to be down on the field for the post game. You have been watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Post game is on Instagram Live.